Miss Fortune is the strongest ADC by far in the current meta, and here is how you can abuse that power. The video has timestamps if you want to skip any part of it, so let's get started. Let's start with the build. You always want to build First Strike. The other sub runes can be tweaked a little bit, but this is still the best win rate build. And it does feel very good to play those runes since you have poke, engage, sustain, damage, and even late game power. This is just, you have everything you need with this build. You have two main paths. I will call them the Lethality path and the Bloodthirster path. The Lethality build is very straightforward. You will almost build the same items every games, which are the boots. You can choose between one of those three, depending if the enemy team has a lot of AD or AP, but mobility boosts are the most common ones. And then you must Ghostblade first, and then the Collector, and then you want to build either an armor pen item, or you can go with the Edge of Night, and then the Bloodthirster. This build gives you a lot of mobility and also provides you with a lot of damage with your ultimate. The most common build armor pen item is Shriel's Grudge, because it provides slow with your ultimate if the enemies are under 30% HP, which is very good to keep them in your ultimate. Very straightforward build, almost the same building path, and this is the build I'm having the most fun with and probably the more success. But the more you climb, the more the people will be cautious about your ultimate. This is where you should go for the other build path. So once you reach High Diamond or Master, the second build will make your game easier. Still having way more fun with the Lethality build, but yeah, try for yourself. For the second build, same thing with the boots, but this time you will build Bloodthirster first, and then Essence Reaver, and then a armor pen item or Edge of Night. As you can see, you only have 4 items plus your boots, so you still have 1 item left. And here are the choices for your last item. Obviously GA when they have a lot of AD, Moth Malmoltius when they have a lot of AP, Shieldbolt when they have hybrid damage and you need survivability, Ionic Spark when you can actually ult really often and the tempo of the game is very fast, and Serpent Fang when they have a lot of shields. Always build your armor pen item as a third item unless you're very ahead or you don't see them building armor just yet. Now let's head off with your abilities. Miss Fortune can be very mana hungry, so it's very important not to waste your abilities every time it's up. The Q. This is your poke. Always threaten the enemy with your Q. And you don't even need to kill the minion to be effective. Yes, killing a minion double the damage. But with your first strike and your passive, if you just always wait for the perfect Q, you won't get much poke with it. Unless the enemy really don't respect your Qs. But yeah, use it as much as you can if you can hit someone with. But sure, if you can hit a buffed Q because you killed a unit before, do it, obviously. And also, in a team fight, always try to hit a bouncing Q because it will reset your passive on your prior target. And if you ask yourself, yes, your Q can bounce on someone you don't have vision on. Like here on Leona. Now with your W, the ability that gives you movement speed and also attack speed. Provides you so much movement speed when out of combat, actually when not being damaged, which is even better. So this ability gives you so much roaming power. But you want to use the active for skirmishes. Save this to engage or run. Remember, Miss Fortune can be very mana hungry. Now with your E, this is your engage or disengage tool. Also very good to help your support to land a skill shot. In a lot of situations, if you E when one of your allies close and he has a CC, your support might hit it and it's a free kill. R, your ultimate. It's a very dodgeable ability unless the enemy is CC'd or in a corner. And here's the best distance to ult because the radius is big enough for enemies not to escape easily. Your E can also be used as a small CC to ult. It's sometimes all it takes. You don't always need to do damage with your ult to be effective. Try to use your ult to zone enemies. And now, the passive. Also very strong. Do not underestimate the damage, because till level 13, your passive double the damage of your basic attack. Literally. The AD ratio is 100%. What you want to do with your passive is to change target as much as you can, unless you're trying to focus a single enemy. And don't forget, hitting a bouncing Q resets your passive on the prior target. Also, when you're pushing a wave, always hit a different target to proc your passive on every basic attacks. It will make you clear very fast. And no, it doesn't work on inhibitors. A good combo with your W, your Q and your passive is when you have to destroy a turret. It's easy, just use your W and Q the minion waves as it comes. Try to hit 2 with your Q if possible, so it resets even faster your W. See how fast I destroyed the turret here? That's insane. And also the Aoki spatial, I'm just kidding. But yeah, my favorite part when we reach the Nexus turret is when I can just do this. Just use your passive on each turret at a time and look how fast. That was just ridiculous. So it's the boss special, but misfortune taste. Here's how you should play Teamfights. So first thing you have to do in Teamfights is hide. You don't want the enemy to know where you are, because if they don't know where you are, they cannot just go on you and stop you from ulting. Always stay far enough so they can waste their abilities on your teammates and gives you ultimate openings. Something that is not used enough in lower elo is pings. And with Misfortune, this is even more important because your ultimate is just game changing in terms of team fights. So always ping. Keep your team updated about your ultimate cooldown. You can ping them to back off when you don't have your ultimate. Something else that is pretty common in lower elo is ult anytime you can. Now hold your ult. Make sure you use it at the right moment, because this is what is going to win you every team fights if you use it properly. And it is easier to place a good ult if the enemies are chasing you rather than you chasing them. So just take a step back, wait to see things happening, always kite back with your team, and also they are the best distraction for you to place a good ult, right? Do not sacrifice your team for your ult, but do play with your team. And also, if you know that you're about to die and you haven't ult yet, just ult, so you can provide the most of your damage before you die. MF is a very strong teamfight champ, so even in a bad matchup, you can be relevant after laning phase if you don't create too much of a gap between the enemy ADC and yourself. But still, here's a list of bad lane matchups. Draven, Kalista, Tristana, Samira, Lucian, Varus, and Corki. And the good news is there are only 3 champions that are actually good in the current meta. Draven, Varus, and Corki. And with all honesty, you can easily go even if you manage the wave properly, or maybe even win the lane. Also with your ultimate, a tip that I'll always give to my students is, if you're about to beat Dove, just ult the wave. Now they can't dive you anymore, and or you win a lot of time. That's it. Thanks for watching, and tell me in the comments if you prefer the Lethality build or the Bloodthirster build. Have a good time, guys.